What if your daughter disappeared? Your mother, your son? What if years have passed and you're no closer to finding them?
When a person goes missing, their story doesn't stop there.
Each week, Missing brings you stories of missing persons and justice, sourced from the case file of the nonprofit Private Investigations for the Missing.
Listeners Say Missing is the most binge-worthy podcast of all time.
Search Missing wherever you listen to podcasts.
Missing, where mysteries have a mission.
The whole thing is fucked up.
You're on the edge with Andrew Gold, and that was true crime legend Amanda Knox. If you like interviews with the most controversial and extreme people, then you'll love On the Edge with Andrew Gold. Here's me talking to a real-life psychopath.
How would you feel if somebody just started strangling me?
Well, I did not feel connected to you, Andrew.
I take you inside cults such as extreme Islam.
I thought I was going to die out there.
Before we delve into the darkest minds.
Was there violence? Yes.
Find it wherever you get your podcasts. That's On the Edge with Andrew Gold.
Wow. Welcome to my real estate. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
I'm traumatized.
We started a conversation before we hit record that needs to be shared.
Yeah, we're talking about fantasies. Specifically, like, okay, so back in the day, when I was hanging out with Handyman, one of my fantasies was I really wanted to go to a sex club, and I had, this vision of eyes wide shut and masks and attractive people like grinding on and touching each other. And I was like, ooh, this is hot. I'm like, this is my fantasy. I really want to try to find a place like this.
Yeah, this is LA. You're like, surely we can find something somewhere.
For sure.
Yeah. But so he's like, no, I know of a couple in LA, and I've been, and he's like, I really want to tell you that it's not what you're fantasizing about. He's like, we can go. I mean, it is a thing, but it's not your fantasy and the actual reality.
He's like, some warehouse here in the valley.
Like, it's not in our budget. Your fantasy is not in our budget. Yeah. We can't get into the good ones.
He was like, it's not the people that you want to see.
It never is. I feel like that's what people always say about like nude beaches.
Beach,
like people have this idea that you're going to go to like a nude beach or like a nudist colony, and it's going to be like sexy.
And it's just leather bag skin. And grandma smoking cigarettes. Titties to the fucking.
Just all akimbo.
Just down to their fucking belly buttons.
Yeah. What's that Ben Stiller movie?
Yes.
Where her tits are all like stretched out and like leather because she's laid out too much without any sunscreen. And I'm like, that is
Mary.
Yes. And that is
Magda.
Now what I picture.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's
actually probably hotter than the things I've seen on the beach. I'm not gonna lie.
He was like, and it's kind of like just the faint odor, know. And so I was.
Of course, there would be. I don't know why I never thought about that before. Like I've never thought about that. That like the smell in a sex club, especially whenever you're looking at like those key parties or like depictions of key parties in people's houses.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, that shit doesn't come out of upholstery.
I mean, yeah, you got to hire people. I feel like.
Oh no, I don't want that job.
But you have your own steam cleaner. You're just like, okay, here is what it is. This is what it smells like. It smells like old men's cologne and sweat that's been sweated off throughout the day.
And also everyone has their own perfume. Yeah. Everyone has an odor, all of their own. And I feel like you're getting a lot of odors in one room.
That room is just filled with Badussi. Okay. So that's what you're smelling. It's smelling Oda Badussi. And it's just.
No, but you're absolutely right. Like, it's never going to be the people that you
Elon
think
Musk's
it is. Like, burnt hair. It's never going to be the people that you think it is. It's never going to be like other people who are hot. Like it's going to be.
And why not?
Well, I mean, I think that
other hot people are into that shit.
But yeah, but I think there's something to be said about. There's a lot of fantasies that I have that
True.
just don't translate to real life.
So
It's
fucking
just
true.
you can make it the best in your head, tailor it just for you. But then if you go and you try to make those happen, a lot of times when I've actually made the effort, I have role played before. It's
I cannot.
It's not.
I know I couldn't do a sex club because I'm far too in my head all the time. Like I would be overthinking that entire interaction.
I could do a sex club for 20 minutes because then I would come in. I'd be like, oh, fantasy over. I'm out.
Oh yeah, as soon
I need out.
That
Get me
is
outta
so funny.
here.
I will be looking at things or whatever, and I'll be like into it or whatever. Second I come, I'm like
The shame.
X out, shame.
Oh, the
Like,
shame.
what was I just watching?
No. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
true.
Yeah. Those smells are hitting you as soon as you're done. You're like, oh, where am I? What's happening? No, I gotta,
God.
gotta run.
I want some Taco Bell. How do you get out of here?
Have you ever seen like there is like on like Pornhub, there is like a channel for like parties and stuff, and it's like people at a club, and I'm like, where are these fucking clubs?
Don't know. I actually thought about that once where I was just like,
Yeah.
where are you?
Yeah.
I have never been to a place where stuff like that happens, and I'm like,
You know what?
low-key
And let us
disappointed.
know where to find this.
Yeah,
I feel
like maybe I'm just not hip to the hot sex club.
You know, I have to say, I really don't think that it would be my thing. I think I would be like,
my God,
what?
could you imagine taking your partner there? You're like, oh wait, no.
I mean, listen, like, not yucking anybody's yum. I'm
No.
like, go for it. I'm like,
Fuck.
Christina, if you find a good one and you're like, maybe I'll give it a shot someday, I would love to hear all about it. I just know I'm so overthinky about everything. Do you know, because I've seen those ones where it's just like, and I always think about this too, where it's like a blowjob party where it's like one guy. And I'm always just like, first of all, when it would be coming up on my turn, the anxiety I would feel.
COVID.
And then secondly, exactly that, where I'm just like,
what are
are
you-
you,
are
it's
you
not like you're wiping it down. Yeah, between. I feel like
I'd need to go first because I can't be.
Did sex clubs get PPP loans? Did they have that?
I mean, it did affect their
COVID.
business. It did affect their
Really
business.
hurt their business.
Ooh.
I imagine.
But
yeah.
your overhead is not that much. You know it's not.
Yeah, bleach.
Well, if you want to make it look nice, you do. Have an overhead, right?
Well, I mean, like you have facility, you have equipment, and that's really it. And I'd imagine too, I don't know if you serve alcohol, and if you do, you're probably only serving like maybe beer, wine, alcohol.
Yeah, I
can't imagine you'd want to have like hard liquor.
Liability.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
maybe.
Interesting.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like we should open a sex club. Is where I'm going with this.
Wow.
I feel like low overhead. I mean, you know,
this is just good business. It's a good business decision, actually.
I'll have a plan over to you guys by this evening.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Oh.
No, but there's a lot. Like for me, I think the appeal of the sex club is like a little bit of that voyeurism, but also exhibitionism.
Yeah.
Like I'm fine. I like both. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I can see people and people can see me. Or maybe if I'm in this corner, it's like, I don't know.
I feel like, I feel like I couldn't do it because I would be feeling all the time. I think the exhibition portion of it would throw me off my game.
Oh,
where
okay.
I would be like, they're judging the way I'm doing this.
Which is so funny because you're the naked neighbor.
I know.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that yesterday as I was walking around my apartment. I have no problem with that. I feel like I'd be doing it wrong. I feel like they'd be judging my form. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like-
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I feel like I'm not much of an exhibitionist. I feel like I'm that kind of person who wants maybe the sheerest level of modesty, right?
Oh, okay.
Like sheer robe kind of action.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like a little mystery. That's kind of how. But I don't know. Like to me, that's super sexy.
I think
and
what
I'm not disturbed by other people being naked around me.
me neither. I think what I'm thinking about is that episode of Friends where where Ross and Rachel accidentally film themselves having sex, and then they go to watch it, and they're like, "Oh, okay," and then they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
because the body doesn't. It's not like porn. Like the body doesn't always look good when it's like folded and bent into like positions, and I feel like I would be really in my head about like trying to look a certain way that I wouldn't be enjoying myself.
I feel like I've always kind of been that way. I probably was raised a little too much on porn. We talk a lot about porn here, but I do think that I think about my body position. I've been married to the same man for like fucking near 20 years. And I still think about, is my arch in my back correct to look right? I don't know why, but I feel like I have a form in my mind that already, it's locked in.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, no, I don't have that, but I have no desire to film myself.
Oh, no.
Because I don't even like watching clips of me on video for this podcast.
Same.
Let alone I don't want to or whatever.
I nitpick myself as is the thing, or I'm just like, I don't need to bear it all for that. Yeah, maybe if I was in some like lingerie, some like Savage X Fenty that made me look really like a certain way, maybe I'd feel better about it.
We really need to get a couple different sponsors. Savage
Yitty
would be great.
Yeah.
That one would be great too.
Are you listening, Lizzo, Rihanna? Hey.
And I am also surprised. I will say it. I believe that we were the first ones to really bring White Claw mainstream.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And I'm still waiting for my fucking check because we've been talking about it since day one.
That's right.
We brought in seltzer. Yeah. We made seltzer cool.
We made seltzer happen.
Yeah. So
I hope you're happy.
I hope
and
you're
we
happy.
did it for free.
I hope you're
for the love of the game. Oh my gosh.
Man, that's
well,
so funny.
that was a hot opening.
Yeah, we really jumped right in there. But listen, no, because, and we will not blast them on this podcast, but we were sharing photos of like, I really do think that's a fun game. It's like, who did you go to high school with who you would run into at a sex club?
Well, I know for a fact, because I do know for a fact the people I showed you are people who are into that. I've personally found out. Why? I don't know.
You will be so
How
surprised
did you find out?
in the fucking Midwest, seeing like, you're like, oh, they have the pineapple?
Yeah. Well, one was because I was at a wedding by myself. It was back in Ohio, and I had gone by myself, and you know how it is going back to, you know, because you're like, oh, I have to dress like I'm in. I was literally dressed like to the nines, and this is an outdoor wedding, and it rained. So I mean, you know what I mean?
Your heels are sinking into the soil. You're like, oh,
100%. No, and it was beautiful. We had a great time. At any rate, this person who I'd known from high school just going off about how he and his wife and how the parties and the places that he does the thing that he does.
Wow.
And I'm like, wow.
Weddings are wild. People make confessions at weddings. Like you just have to get them like a couple drinks in, and then all of a sudden you're learning all kinds of things about people.
And the most oblivious person though, I swear to you, and especially when I was younger, I had a friend who lives here in Los Angeles when I'd first come out, and he was like, and lost contact with him. And I knew him and his wife at the time, and they're not together anymore. When we reconnected before I moved here, he was like, how funny. He was like, me and my wife at the time always tried to get you to join us in a threesome. And I was like, what? You did?
Oh my goodness.
Where was I
missed all the signs.
I missed every sign because I was just completely oblivious. And I was like, well, let's pretend we've never had this conversation before, but it lives in my head rent free every day for the rest of my fucking
ever
life.
Happened to you? That happened to me one time whenever I was in my early 20s. I was hanging out with a guy friend, and he had two friends. It was a couple from out of town who came to visit. They were from like San Diego, and they came to visit. And then like we all went out, and then we went back to his apartment to like have some drinks afterwards. And they were very, like, I got vibes. Like they both, like they sat on either side of me. Like, which was like,
Keegan.
Oh,
yeah.
I definitely have had, I've had a situation that started that way too.
Yeah,
and I joined.
That's how my threesome started too. Mine was international sign.
I'm not as cool as you guys. I was like,
mine was
gonna
fivesome.
go. I'm gonna go.
Mine was a fivesome, and enjoyable.
Nice. Yeah, mine was only 3, and it was.
Hey, listen.
Not...
Also had just 3.
Yeah.
It was not enjoyable?
No, not my favorite.
Oh,
honestly.
that's a bummer.
Yeah.
I feel like with just 3, here's what I was say. With just 3, it is an odd man out party, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like an even number.
I was the guest, so I felt like I got plenty of focus.
Yeah.
But like for me, it really, if you don't have those feelings of attraction,
See, and again, there's
like-
another
I'm dying to
reason
know
why
who this was with because I
sex
do
party.
feel like I might know these people.
No.
yeah, you do. You totally do. And you will die if I tell you.
Oh, okay. Are you ready for a break? There you guys want to take 5 and come back for the story?
We're not there. We have to fuck, marry, kill now.
God,
I'm putting that. Remember
put a
to
pin in
ask
that.
Christina.
Oh, don't worry.
Yeah. Okay.
We're putting a pin in that.
Okay.
Put a pin in that.
I don't know how we transition into a fuck, marry, kill from this.
Yeah, because we just did. So we just did our kinky fantasy FMK with Kelly from Boobies and Newbies,
Yes.
which I think she's doing for her Patreon. So we can't do that. That would be fun.
You gotta tune into that. Oh, also, we're recording ahead because we have a very busy month this month, but this episode is coming out right after our live show. Yay! So everybody who came to our live show or tuned in on the live stream, thank you so much. I'm just gonna go ahead and say we had a great time.
Yes, it was wonderful,
fantastic. But no, we'll give you an actual real report next time we record. But yeah, thanks everyone.
Yeah.
In the future.
Okay. Fuck, marry, kill.
I feel like it's got to be a sexy fuck, marry, kill.
It does. It definitely does.
Ooh, okay. In your current couple, who would you invite to a threesome? Now this is tricky.
Oh, okay.
This is tricky.
Celebrity
Yes.
I would bring in for a threesome.
Please don't make up somebody we know.
Please God.
What if you're like, probably Lyndon. What? No, don't say that.
I don't want to know that about you.
Okay. All right. Okay. A celebrity that I would invite in. Okay.
This
with
is
my
hard
current
because you have to like make sure it's somebody that also your partner would be.
Yeah, I don't know
vibing
if
with.
he would be okay.
Yeah, I love that Christina's like, I don't care.
But because I would prefer a little MMF.
Me too,
action.
always. I feel like Chris would be open to it. Chris is very liberal,
Eric
And I
would
love that.
not. I'm fairly certain.
but it could be MFM.
Yeah. But I'm going to do it anyways. Negroni. Spagliato.
Oh
With
my
Prosecco
gosh.
in it.
Emma Diarcy or
Yeah.
Diarchi. How do you say their last name?
I'm not sure. I've pronounced it Darcy just because
Darcy?
it's like D
D
apostrophe. But yes, they are currently playing
Rhaenyra
in House of the Dragon. And that
Ooh.
clip has made me feel
Their voice is so incredible. I have actually thought about that before. Like, how far can a good voice take you?
far.
Very
And pretty far.
And I talked about it on this podcast, which is why I like to get people on the phone to hear their voice before meeting up, because a good voice will take you far.
But they also seem genuinely very, very sweet. Like when I've watched interviews between, or it's like oftentimes they pair Olivia Cook and Emma Darcy together, and they seem to have a really, really sweet relationship.
Yeah.
And yeah, good choice. Mwah,
Yeah.
beautiful. Gosh,
This is tough because
This is
all my
really
head wants
tough.
to do is go to the obvious choice, which is Taika Waititi.
You cannot.
And I cannot because
No.
I have used him way too many times.
Yeah, we've tapped out the number of
I
times
know.
you can do him.
It's legitimately no longer can add to the click queue.
Yeah, this is tough. Because I could honestly go any which way, gender wise, on the gender spectrum. I don't really have but somebody that like my partner would also have a good time with.
Right.
I'm thinking about all the people that Anthony kind of has crushes on, and it's like Jennifer Garner.
Yeah.
But
that'd be boring.
It
as
wouldn't.
fuck.
Yeah, right. It doesn't seem like it would be fun.
Night. Well, you guys just go do it. and
Yeah,
I'm
I'll be
gonna
in
go
here.
watch British Bake Off.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. So I'm like, oh, I don't really want to do that. Or like, I'm thinking about his man crushes, and it's like, oh, Jason Sudeikis. Right. Indeed.
I know. Chris has got a few man crushes, but I'm really struggling to come up with the right
fit.
Right?
Okay. You know who I'm going to go with? And this is kind of like a little off the beaten path, but I feel like is a good compromise for both of us. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh,
wait.
Right? Soccer
player, right?
We got a soccer player. So I feel like that's fair. I don't care about soccer. But the man is hot. But he's not somebody who I would ever want to like date, marry, or see again.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm like, for a one-time sitch.
Yeah.
And then bye-bye.
Yeah.
I feel like, okay. Yeah.
I feel like you can get Tony down
right.
for
I'm like, I feel like I could get him to agree to that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
And Cristiano Ronaldo also gives me vibes that he might say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
all right. Yeah, sure. Why not?
He's like, I got an extra half hour. Let's.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking of I kind of am trying to think of somebody kind of androgynous, like along the same lines of like Emily
or
Darcy.
Emma.
I'm sorry, Emma Darcy. Like that kind of vibe. I'm struggling.
Let's see.
Bowie.
Yeah, right? I mean, like
Bowie would be fun.
Sam Smith is so hot, but I can't
Smith
listen to his voice.
Oh,
really?
I hate.
Oh my God!
I think
love
he's
his
so
voice.
cute.
Well, he's not going to be singing to you.
It's true, right? Like, there's something about him like that's super androgynous and like
I love it.
Very.
Yeah, that Unholy song is.
Yeah, I
love it.
You're right.
Yeah. No, I'm into
Christina,
it. Okay.
There you go.
Christina cannot hear it one more time.
No, I am over it, and
You know
I'm
what?
only over it because the people that use it. Sometimes I'm like,
You don't
honey,
deserve that song.
This is not for you.
This wasn't made for you.
I'm sorry, this isn't
was
yours.
not made for
No.
you.
You know what? I mean, I'm going to Sam Smith, and it's because I am very attracted to an androgynous,
Yeah,
like feminine, masculine,
right.
You know who
quality.
else would have been a good choice that I bet I could that Anthony would be cool with is like a Karen O.
Yeah. Oh God,
Oh,
Chris.
yeah.
Right?
I would be. Would I even be in the room?
Yeah,
Am I allowed in the room?
a little bumped out.
You guys falls off bed. I'm over here. Where are
Okay.
you? I'm over here.
Okay, so we have Emma Darcy, we have Cristiano Ronaldo, and we have Sam Smith. Fuck, marry, kill.
God, this is tough.
Oh, I know what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I know what I'm going to do. Oh, and this is tough. Like I want to preface this by saying I don't want to do this to any of you, but here we are. I'm going to marry Emma. There is just something about them that I find so endearing.
They have this like
Quality.
mischievous quality to them where I just feel like they don't take themselves too seriously or the world too seriously. They just,
I love it.
You know,
I love that energy.
They feel like a bit of a shapeshifter to me too, where like they present very differently depending on the situation. Like I've seen stills from other movies, you know, obviously House of the Dragon, and then, you know, red carpet appearances. And I kind of love that. They have really great style.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were gonna say they have really great skin, and I was like, they do.
They do have great skin as well. Yeah. And like you said, I feel like they're very go with the flow. They seem
easy
calming.
going, chill.
Yeah, they seem like they have a calming energy about them. So I'm gonna marry Emma. I'm gonna fuck Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah,
I just
right.
feel something
for your home. It feels right.
for your home, for you and your house. I feel like there's something about soccer players that I'm like, you have
a style,
stamina.
Endurance.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, you got stamina. And he's also just, I don't even really care about sports at all, but he is kind of like a legend.
Yeah.
doesn't want to fuck a legend? You know what I mean?
Seriously.
Yeah. And then I do love Sam Smith. I actually really like his voice. And I think that his story is really fascinating. And I love that he's like changing stylistically and all that stuff. Simply was the competition.
Yeah,
dude. That's all.
Understood.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't take it. He called me. He was like,
Oh,
I can
it's okay.
understand.
Yeah,
He's
I
like,
get it.
I mean, Cristiano. I mean, like, how do I?
He's like,
ever?
I would have done this.
He did. He was like, I would have done the same thing. So in my house, we have chosen to marry Sam Smith because I do think it's the right choice. I think that he is very, actually, I don't know pronouns. So I don't know if.
Oh.
So apologies.
Yeah,
ahead of time.
I'm not sure either. I was just thinking about that.
Look.
Let's look.
Yeah.
Let's look. This is how easy it is. You can learn and know.
It's Imagine. We have a computer right at our fingertips.
Yeah. It's the 21st century, y'all.
It is they, them.
Oh,
okay. Well, then I'm glad
our
that
apologies
Yeah,
on
I'm
this
glad that
podcast to Sam Smith. We were unaware, but we will correct moving forward.
Yes.
All right. So Sam Smith in our house is where we are going. And the choice for us is because they're very also calming to me.
Yeah.
I feel like the energy is very like mellow.
I would
but
love
feel
to
like
be in
there's
the
an
studio
intensity.
with them.
Yes.
I love a creator. And
There's an intensity behind the eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
I personally, I really do love that Unholy song. It
do
is
too.
overplayed on
is
TikTok,
good.
but I love it.
It is
I
good.
would love to be in the studio with them.
Yeah. And the first time I heard that song, I really was impressed because I was like, this is a divergence from what
Right.
they usually do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was really cool to me. I'm like, oh, they're
that.
evolving
Yeah.
as a performer. And that's
love
really,
that.
really cool. I love that. Yeah.
I love that. That screams longevity too. So they will be able to support us for a really long time to come because they are so flexible.
Well,
Yeah.
and also that shows creativity
That's
and
right.
growth.
That's right.
Stuff that keeps a marriage spicy.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love
Like it.
I love everything about this. I feel like
Yeah.
Chris would totally be on board with us. Okay. And then it's Emma Darcy for me for
Fuck.
fuck
For
times. Yeah.
Sexy time.
Sexy time. Fun
For-
times.
for yes.
Yeah.
And I would actually like to include Sam in that.
Yes.
And so for sexy fun times, it's now a foursome.
Yes.
So take
I'm
that.
going to, you can do it at our new sex club.
That's right. that we just opened in the valley.
In the San Fernando Valley.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And nothing against Ronaldo.
Yeah.
It just too hot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why it has to be just a fuck. We
Yeah.
can't. Nothing more serious than that.
Sorry,
he
too
is
hot.
too hot for me. I know that.
I will be-
I've got
I
to
will
kick
be.
him out of my bed immediately afterwards. Like thank you for coming.
I
and
will
have a
be
good
hiding
day.
in the bathroom until you leave.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I am not good enough for this.
I'm good enough for this. I think I'm going to do the same thing as you, Cassie. I'm going to marry Sam Smith. I love their story.
Yeah.
I also feel like it's the musician lover. in me.
Yeah.
I can't.
You
I
love
can't
a bad
help it.
choice.
I
but I feel like this is a good
love
choice,
it.
actually.
I love watching people create. I
Yeah.
really do. It's such a turn on for me, and music especially. I can't help it. It's like one of my number one turn ons.
Oh, they could absolutely make me cry.
Oh.
They've got that kind of voice. What is that like "Lay Me Down"
Vibrato.
song
Oh,
that
yeah.
they do? Which is just like I've heard that song just playing in my car alone at night and like been like if they sang that in the shower and I just happened to be somewhere nearby, I think I'd be just in bed just like
yeah.
Just sobbing.
Yeah.
just
they
the
have
voice
a
of an
very
angel.
emotive voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, I'm doing Sexy Times with Emma Darcy. I just,
Yeah.
I hope that I'm
Hot.
pronouncing their last name correctly.
It
But
seems right. The D''ARCY.
Yeah.
It seems right.
and just watching them in House of the Dragon, first of all, sexy show.
Yeah.
They are amazing in it.
Yeah.
But then that TikTok clip, it just,
Spagliato.
that voice.
Yes, their voice is
God
incredible.
Bless America.
And then I also feel like with Emma, you're going to get something that you love, Christina, which is afterwards, there's a lot of red wine drinking.
Yes.
And, like,
I will
talking about-
definitely drink Negroni Spagliatos with Prosecco in it.
Yeah. By the fire, talking about deep subjects. I get that vibe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
But I feel like Sam Smith, same.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Because I think that that's the thing that I see is that there's a little soul behind those eyes. That they have this kind of sense of, there's a little intelligence and mystery.
I feel like both Emma and Sam are going to make you feel really good during.
Yeah.
Like,
That's why we're doing it all together.
yeah.
Yeah.
nice.
Make you feel really good and comfortable with yourself.
Yeah. I feel like it's a good choice all around.
Sexy opening. You guys want to take 5 and come back with stories?
Sounds good.
What's the best way to unwind after a bad date? Cannabis. Crescent Canna, the sponsor of this episode, makes legal THC gummies that can be delivered directly to your door nationwide. Made from hemp and containing less than 0.3% THC by weight, Crescent Canna's THC gummies are federally legal for adults all across the country without a prescription. With more than 1,000 5-star reviews, customers rave about Crescent Canna's gummies as my go-to for relaxation, instant stress relief, and good mood inducing. But don't just take their word for it. My Worst Date listeners can try a free 2-pack of THC gummies at crescentcanna.com/free. You heard that right. That's 2 delicious THC gummies completely free. Just pay shipping. Now, my own thing, they have this CBD roll-on that is so good for aching muscles. I use it all the time because now that I'm working out, I also love their sleep gummies. So give Crescent Canna THC gummies a try or enjoy any of their potent, effective, and legal cannabis products at crescentcanna.com and get 30% off with my special discount code WORSTDATE. You must be 21 or older to purchase or consume THC products. Age verification at checkout. Cheers!
Hello, this is Lonnie Love, and I'm here with Alec Mappa.
And we are the hosts of Squirrel Friends, the official RuPaul's Drag Race podcast. We're like your one-stop shop for the wonderful world of RuPaul's Drag Race, straight from VH1 itself.
We've covered all stars, we've unmasked secret celebrities, and now we're going to dive deeper into all things RuPaul's Drag Race. A few of your favorite queens will also stop by on occasion to take you behind the scenes of their most memorable moments on the show and share what they've been up to since.
Listen to Squirrel Friends, the official RuPaul's Drag Race podcast on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Feeling great, feeling good. How about you?
And we're back.
All right, I'll start us off. This one really gets me. First off, he texted me while I was on my way there that he was going to be 20 minutes late. He pulled up near my car and texted me he was there. He's got a flosser in his mouth. Super classy.
Hey, at least he flosses. I got to be honest. That actually is...
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
I go that way and he got out of the car. He's wearing dirty work boots, sweatpants, a thermal, and a dirty coat.
No.
He hasn't shaved in about 2 weeks.
No.
His profile pic showed him well groomed and dressed nicely.
No.
We're not at a fancy place, just a neighborhood restaurant, but it's a first date.
No, you couldn't shower before
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like bare minimum. Like how long does it take a man to shower? Really?
Yeah.
Stop. It does not take that long.
No, and it doesn't. And you have like...
Does take some men a very long time to dry though, as we've found out.
Yeah, that's true. I'm wearing a nice pair of ankle boots, nice jeans, and a cute graphic tee, and a clean winter coat.
Oh.
I showered and did something decent with my hair.
Oh.
He does not remove the flosser from his mouth.
Okay.
We go inside. I hate that.
No.
I really don't. Don't
It's
leave your,
one thing
your tooth detritus.
You have a thing about flossers too.
I do.
You really do.
Throw them the fuck away.
away.
Because plaque, just plaque dust everywhere. I don't like it.
Wet plaque dust.
It's plaque goo.
It's plaque plaster.
And now it's on the coffee table or it's on top of the dresser or something. And I hate it. I fucking hate it. Put it in the trash. I hate it. Anyways. Okay. It's fine. It's fine.
Q-tips.
I'm fine.
Q-tips.
No, Q-tips are not a problem in my household, but thank God.
No, but I can't.
But if it was, Q-tips are worse.
Worse.
Look,
Ear goo?
Ear goo
or I'm sorry. You guys are wrong. You're flat out wrong. Tooth goo is worse than
earwax is sticky.
So is a lot of the fucking tooth goo.
What is going on in Eric's mouth if his teeth are that
no,
gooey?
it's not. They look fine. It really isn't like it's mostly
plaque.
in your head. It's mostly in my head. But
yeah.
like yeah.
No, also there is something about like if your partner continues to do something over and over again that drives you crazy, it gets amplified in your brain
times 100.
Yeah, where you're just like,
oh my God. Okay, so we go inside. We're waiting at the bar for a table, and he commented that it's unusually busy. I said Valentine's Day is on Monday, so people are probably celebrating it now. Cue tirade about fake holidays and the greeting card industry.
you're so edgy.
Yeah,
you're
you're
so
the
edgy.
first person that said that.
Oh my God, what a take.
Spicy.
Then he announces he's reading.
No.
Okay, no. Ayn Rand.
Stop it.
It's going to be Ayn Rand.
Jordan Peterson.
A 10,000-page document.
Why?
What?
By the federal government.
No. Oh
so
God.
that
I'm out.
He can gain ownership of his social security number and become a sovereign citizen.
Is this
My baby.
fucking brother?
No.
Oh my
no, honey.
Then he will
that's how
no
that works.
longer have to pay taxes or any bill.
That's not. It's simply not.
Wait, but these are also the same people. It has to be said that these are also the same people who do not want people to have a free ride.
Oh, absolutely.
So-
Oh my God.
These people vote. I just need to say that.
I know. They do lots
But they
of
can't
things
if they're
that-
sovereign citizens.
Well, yeah,
Well,
exactly.
There you go. There's a price you pay.
I told him I didn't really buy into that idea, and he kept going instead of taking the hint. I had already decided I was paying for myself and never seeing this guy again.
Strong neckbeard libertarian vibes over here.
Yeah. I just heard myself say, "You are too stupid for me to date," and I fled to my car and
honey.
left.
Yes. My hero.
He sent me a bunch of angry texts. I told him he dressed like a slob.
Oh.
And he informed me that his sweatpants cost more than my entire outfit, and even his underwear cost $80. He sent me like 3 paragraphs about the sovereign citizen crap and said, "Stay asleep, sheeple." And I blocked them.
Okay. All right. There's something right there.
Sleep sheeple.
I feel like
Wow.
I have a list of these like deal breakers that continue to pop up in my head. I've TikToked a couple of them, which is just like people who don't know how a 4-way stop works, people who leave their carts in the middle of the aisle when you're trying to do your grocery shopping, anyone who uses the word sheeple unironically.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
For any reason.
Any reason.
We're cutting this date short.
I told you guys in the last episode about that documentary on Peacock, Shadowlands.
Yeah.
They had a couple sovereign citizens on there, but them just talking about the whole conspiracy process, like people gravitate towards it because they like thinking that they figured something out.
Yeah.
You know, like
Of course.
they know the truth.
They know something you don't know. And that's why you can't have conversations with those people because
no matter
they
what you
will
say.
just continue to think that you you just don't get it. Like I'm just trying so hard, and they won't ever stop. I'm experiencing this right now. They won't ever stop. Even when they know that it's like damaging your relationship, like it's not, because the truth is more important. Think that like they know the truth and that they need to convey the truth to you.
Yeah.
And it's impossible.
Sitting on a date with somebody is like legitimately like, this is a possibility. I'm going to become a sovereign citizen. And you're like,
friend,
what?
So my favorite TikTok right now, my favorite TikTok like content creator is The Good Trouble.
Oh, I love him.
There's 2 guys, right? The 2 guys.
Oh, I'm thinking of somebody else. No, maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
Okay.
There's somebody who goes by Good Trouble on TikTok. It was just one guy. So I think.
Or maybe I'm doing it the other way around. Anyway, these 2 guys, they always go to like the rallies and shit, and the way they like interview people.
Oh yeah.
The tattling on yourself.
Yeah.
So boldly.
But let me tell you.
Like the one guy that was interviewed and he's like wearing a shirt that basically was like sucks a dick or whatever, and talking about how the schools are showing kids things. And he's like, there's going to be kids inside. Are you worried about the shirt you're wearing? He's like, oh yeah.
But they'll never
like just
like
you fucking moron.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yep.
This is another server story.
Yeah.
Which we love on this podcast. I, 22 male at the time, was a busboy at a 200-seat restaurant that was part of a sporting club. I'd been there for long enough to have a feel for the personalities of the customers. On this particular night, one of my tables was a first date. The girl was lovely, all smiles and very pleasant. The guy was sort of normal, seemed a bit quiet. He put off some fairly clear signals that he would prefer to be left alone, though. That's okay. Some prefer minimal service. What I did notice, though, was that the guy was talking to her quietly but forcefully and almost nonstop, sometimes gripping her arm firmly in a way that suggested she wouldn't be able to pull away easily. I couldn't hear a word that was said, but the lady was looking more and more terrified all the time, like nearly about to wet herself terrified. A complete change from her pleasant nature when they had walked in. I told the waitress on the adjacent section that I wasn't sure about what was going on and asked if she wouldn't mind checking on the table to let me know her thoughts. The waitress went to the table, said a few quick words, and came back to me. Out of earshot, she said, "Yeah, I think we need to get her out of there." We let the managers know what was going on. The guy had booked his table. Good. We had his name. Outside, at the taxi rank, by some miracle, there was a female cabbie in the line. I ignored the protests of the other drivers and hopped in and told the cabbie the situation and offered her $20 to wait around the back of the restaurant. I said, "Please don't wait for a destination, just drive. Something's really wrong with her date." The cabbie didn't need the $20.
That's what's up.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. We had the front desk call the guy.
I wouldn't either. I'm like,
me
ladies
neither.
unite.
Absolutely. We had the front desk call the guy over the PA for an urgent call. This would delay him while they tried to figure what the call was and then realize that he had actually won a meat tray. There was meat trays at this place that were raffled off at intervals throughout the night. "Just you wait here and we'll fetch it for you." As soon as creepy guy was out of sight, I asked his date if she needed to get out of here. She just trembled and nodded. Figuring that she probably wasn't in the mood to trust a man at this point, my waitress friend escorted her through the kitchen and out to the waiting cab where she slipped away quick as you please.
That is so like aware.
Yeah. Yeah.
The guy came back to an empty table, the staff seeming to be oblivious to where his lady friend had gone. We didn't get much of the story other than that the lady was set up on a blind date by a mutual friend who told her this guy was okay.
Nope.
Yo.
Not any longer.
No.
Not a friend anymore.
But teamwork makes the dream work.
Yep.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Because it's just like the busboy, the waitress, the cabbie, the managers. Everybody works
Do you know
together.
how bad that date has to be to like notice?
Yeah.
Really
yes,
notice.
when you can't hear anything.
That's dangerous.
Because most of the time you're just like, you know, if you're
Why are
waiting
you
tables,
grabbing me? You just met me, sir.
Yeah. I just, go through the motions. But yeah, it has to be
for
pretty
multiple
obvious.
people to be like involved in that.
Yeah.
And also,
for one person to be aware, then bring it to the awareness of others. I mean, that's, and then just working together to make sure that this person was out safe. Like that's,
We've
good
said
for them.
it before, but it's also, what are you doing? Like, what? Why are you setting your friends up?
Right.
on dates with people like this? Like, do you not know? Do you really not know?
Is that when I think about it, when I was single, we have a friend group or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
There are people, like, obviously within the friend group, everyone's paired up or whatever, but there's like extraneous people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Acquaintances that like, that
hover on the
but
periphery.
Do you know them? So I'm thinking that maybe this friend is like, oh, just set him up with it. He's nice. He's hung out with us a few times. You know what I mean? So maybe he's like, fine.
You don't have to be a matchmaker of people.
But also,
it's not necessary.
Don't do it.
I mean,
There's apps that do that now.
Yeah. And it's just like, you should, if you're going to pair someone up with someone, it should be because you're like, no, I really think you two need to meet. Like,
and
I really
I
think
know
you would
this
vibe.
person.
And here's why.
Yeah.
Here are the list of things you have in common. Here are the list of things that I've done the research on and I know about this person.
Yeah.
I just,
And
and
even
I've
then-
said this before on the podcast. I'm like, if you have friends that should meet and you feel like they'd be a good match, do a group situation,
exactly.
bring them into a group situation and then do, hey, oh my gosh, hey, have you met my friend Christina?
Yep.
You actually, I know you're in a band. She actually is a great singer.
Yeah.
I think you guys would have a lot in common. You
Pull
guys
the
both
pressure
love music.
off.
Yeah, immediate pressure off.
And
you're
it's
just
safe.
and you're in a party. There's a ton of people around.
Right.
She can get the vibe that she feels from that person.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't have to be because you just have a single friend who also has another single friend.
Yeah,
and then you
this
make
guy
them go on an awkward thing that is just like, and also
Awful.
grabbing like
in
that.
Don't touch
public,
me.
there's something really wrong with somebody who's willing to hold you that like to
This is
enough to make
why-
me scared is like in public. Oh no.
This
No,
is
no.
why I could never actually be in a 50 Shades of Grey. This
No.
is why it's good for me to read that stuff and I'm
Fantasy.
attracted to that fantasy. But I swear to God, you touch me like that in fucking public, you better wish your goddamn grave was already dug, bitch. 'Cause
Yeah.
you done.
Not today.
I am fucking, you're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
No, I completely agree. That's exactly what we were talking about. Like your fantasies in your head do
Stay
not
there.
translate in real life.
IRL. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, and to be fair, the one time that I was with a person who I had that kind of BDSM relationship with, that kind of sexual relationship, in real life, a total fucking sweetheart. In the bedroom,
Right.
you dirty down motherfucker.
I feel like that's more,
different.
and I feel like that's more the case
Yeah.
from like real life, like
Yeah.
BDSM relationships
Right.
that I've
Yeah.
heard about.
There's
It's
a
like,
big difference between
Yeah.
BDSM relationship and fucking abusive relationship.
Yeah, go listen to our
100.
9.5 weeks episode on a Patreon.
Yeah.
We had a lot to say.
Woo, and how. All right. Anyway, so I find this story funny. I hope you guys do too. I was flying back from the USA to Shanghai when I sat next to a cute girl. We chatted for a little bit, hit it off pretty well. She was very well educated and seemed quite down to earth, so we made some plans to grab coffee the following week. No red flags or anything out of the ordinary. The following week, I went to that Lavazza Cafe on Nanjing Road, which, by the way, totally probably butchered that word, but I love the way that they're talking about it like I would know.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you know.
Yeah, that one.
You
You
know.
know that one.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what Lavazza is.
Yeah.
But
is waiting for her inside the shop. She walked in and it seemed like something was off. She seemed like a little apprehensive about something, but I just kind of went with it. Ordered coffee, sat down at the table around other people just minding their business. After trying to hold a conversation for 5 minutes, she finally says, I need to tell you something.
Oh.
Needless to say, I thought this was going to be some inevitable thing of me being foreign and have some issue related to that. I was okay. And then she says, I wrote you a song.
Oh no.
And need you to hear it.
Oh no. Please
In
don't.
the Lavazza?
No.
Put a pin in that.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Can we take this
Can we
to a
take
private
this?
corner?
No.
Anyway, I falsely assumed that she would play something on her phone.
No.
Or something. But
Oh,
nope.
no.
She stood right up in the coffee shop.
No.
And sang what was about a 3-minute song.
Oh.
Right there.
Oh, it's too long.
In front of everyone.
How many verses? There's a whole bridge.
It became cringe level
Key change.
10,000 immediately. And there were even a few construction workers standing outside the glass door of the shop just trying to figure out what was going on. Oh my God, this is a nightmare.
Keegan, you have peeled your skin off legitimately.
My face is hot. My face is hot. No.
I don't know why this song is in my head, but I think I said key change, and then all of a sudden I'm thinking, don't let me close one more door. I don't want to hurt.
Oh God.
We ended up having lunch right after coffee, but something must have clicked in her brain since the flight, and she became insanely clingy and strange. We parted ways after that, and it took about a month of text messages for her to finally stop contacting me. She sang pretty well, though. She handed me a copy of the lyrics to the song, which I still have somewhere. My personal favorite, which they wrote in Mandarin. And I looked up, was your breath is like a wisp.
Oh my God.
How hard would you be trying to like eye communicate with other customers
I am not
that like
okay.
I'm not a part of this.
I did not
I'm
know this
so
was gonna-
sorry. I didn't know this was gonna happen. Like the way you would be like trying to make eye
sweating
contact
right
with
now.
other people. Like I am not involved in this. I just met this woman.
Oh my God.
No.
You
No.
imagine.
I can't.
somebody
can't.
just in a Starbucks. Don't make me.
Oh no!
close
Actually, we got tagged in a TikTok that was some girl was, it was like a TikTok where she was like her face. It was her face, but you could hear someone not badly, but only kind of mediocrely singing opera. And the woman was like, she's singing to her boyfriend.
Oh no.
Opera.
No.
In a restaurant.
No. No.
Honey, why?
Dates are not talent shows. We've said it before. We don't need you to show off your skills.
Look, a really good opera singer is incredibly impressive. I understand, but one, you better be really fucking good. Two, we don't need to do it in a restaurant.
Time and a place.
Why are we in a restaurant?
Time and a place. This is not opera time. This is
other people are just trying to
fettuccine
enjoy
Alfredo
their
time.
minestrone.
Exactly. Like,
stop it.
I was just excited about the endless breadsticks.
Yeah.
It's a fucking Olive Garden.
It was, right? We were all
tour of Italy.
And the tour of Italy includes an opera.
Oh,
there you
God. I hope it was an Italian opera at least.
Oh, man. You guys want to take 5 and we'll come back with the Tainted Love?
Sounds good.
Hey, it's Roy Wood Jr. Every week I sneak away from The Daily Show and bring you Roy's Job Fair, a dope podcast where we laugh about bad jobs or figure out ways to be better at the jobs we have. We've had on legends like WNBA champion Candace Parker.
Like, I was that hustler that babysat a lot. I love kids.
We also talk to everyday people, from preachers to politicians to porn stars. We all need something to eat, someone to love, and a way to provide. This podcast cannot help you with the first two. Listen to Roy's Job Fair wherever you get your podcasts.
Ever been pulled over and asked if you've been drinking, and a series of random pop culture questions? You don't listen to Classic Conversations with Jeff Dwoskin. You could be looking at 5 to 10 years behind bars. Arm yourself with stories and trivia from Hot Lips from MASH, Frau Farbissina from Austin Powers, The Smoky Man from The X-Files, Isaac Gopher, Doc from The Love Boat, over 150 interviews to keep you on the streets. Classic Conversation. It's wherever you find podcasts.
The Fall Line is a true crime podcast covering the coldest cases in the southeastern United States and occasionally beyond. We focus on the missing persons, the unsolved murders, and the unidentified does that don't get media attention. Empathetic and intensively researched, The Fall Line will take you on deep dives into unsolved cases that you've never heard of and make you wonder why you haven't. Find us wherever you listen to podcasts.
And we're back. Sorry you weren't looking.
I'm sorry I was playing with your kitty. Wait, that sounded...
Cat.
Yeah.
My cat. My actual...
Your Matilda
cat.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I've got the Tainted Love.
This episode, who knows?
Oh, I know. It's
Gross.
so gross. This one is really terrifying for me. And we can talk about it at the end. So to start off with, in the early morning... Oh, by the way, I got this story from one of my favorite repositories for finding stories.
Amazing.
Skip Hollinsworth.
Oh, Skip. From the
Skip,
Texas
you know,
Monthly?
Skip.
Or, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In the early morning on February 11th, 2010, a man drove to rich neighborhood Bel Air in Houston and pulled up in front of a house to shoot through a window.
Oh.
No one was hurt. When police showed up, they thought it was just a teenage prank. Not a very good prank.
First of all, shooting
someone can
guns. I know it's Texas, but shooting guns into someone's window is not a prank.
Not a boys will be boys kind of prank.
What's going on? Because I feel like last week it was, I tased her, but it was just a joke.
I put her in that box and buried it.
We were going to go back.
Gosh, you guys are being so dramatic, really, right
Everybody
now.
calm down.
Oh, okay.
2 months later, this time at night, a man rang the doorbell at that same house. When Yvonne Stern peered through the glass, he smiled at her before pulling a gun up to shoot at her before running to a van and driving away. Luckily, he missed Yvonne and the young son she had behind her by inches. So again, police can find no leads and they're stumped. Yvonne is a housewife with no enemies.
Right?
Her devoted husband, Jeffrey, is a successful lawyer.
I just did air quotes around devoted husband. I just want you to know.
Yeah, but they talk to him and they're like, he's freaking out. He hires a security company to overhaul everything. He puts in bulletproof windows, iron gates on the front door. He puts in floodlights. He gets them a trained German Shepherd. He hires a former Navy SEAL to train the family.
At some point, it feels like thou doth protest too much. I'm like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
He even gets a PI to help police find out who's shooting at his family. And he gets Yvonne her own bulletproof vest. So he's like doing the most.
Okay.
I feel like he's
like
too much.
Right?
Too much, sir.
So
a bulletproof vest?
Yeah.
Literally
a Navy SEAL.
Honey.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So many things.
So Jeffrey was
a trained dog. Can we talk about this real quick?
Yeah.
You have a trained dog, a dog that's specifically trained to protect your family.
Correct.
I feel that's really weird. And these trying times in this day and age in which you don't need an actual
in this economy,
I mean, a dog should be your buddy, friend, pal. Like, I don't want it to have to work. Dogs should not.
Some dogs like to work.
Yeah, German Shepherds are worky
dog
dogs.
To work at being my friend,
being my bestie.
My bestie.
No, I mean, because look, there is a degree of if somebody shot at your partner and your child, I feel like you would take it really seriously.
Twice this has happened. The first time they were like, okay, like this is weird. No one was hurt. It was like, but the second time, like
I would step up the home security for sure. Like I would definitely like step all that stuff up. It just seems like a lot all at once that I'm like, I'm suspicious. And I've been wrong before on this podcast. I've been loud and wrong before.
Rarely.
So who are these people? Okay, so Jeffrey was raised in a strict Jewish household in Milwaukee, and he arrived in Texas to go to South Texas College of Law. It's there that he meets Yvonne, who was working as a paralegal, and it was love at first sight. Once Yvonne converted to Judaism, he proposed in 1991. His law practice exploded after that, making a fortune with clients that had been in auto accidents.
I just want to, like some people are God's favorites and this person's living my dream life.
Yeah. They had 2 young kids, moved to an affluent neighborhood and got involved with charities and made many friends who were completely flabbergasted by the attacks. Now, the PI and the police believe that Yvonne was the target.
Right.
So she secretly moves into a luxury apartment 3 miles away while the investigation is ongoing. However, the morning of May 5th, on her way to meet with a friend, she's attacked by a man threatening to rob her, and then he shot her in the stomach.
What?
She played dead to avoid being shot again and managed to get herself up and drive herself to a nearby gas station where she texts Jeffrey that she's been shot.
Jesus Christ.
He leaps into his black Maserati and rushed to find her being loaded into an ambulance.
I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like after the second attempt, I might be like, you know what? I'm going to go stay with my parents for a minute.
Yeah.
Like leave the state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
This
like
is now 3.
Yeah.
3 shots.
No.
No leads. No ideas. Police have talked to everybody in her circle. They've talked to Jeffrey. They're like, are you having an affair?
Thank you.
And he's like, no. They're like, are you sure?
Are you sure? Did it slip your mind?
Do you want to kill your wife? And he's like, absolutely not. And all of his friends are like, no. Like,
listen,
this is not it.
I'm like you. Second time somebody tried to kill me and my fucking kids behind me.
Yeah.
I'm trying, Jeff, honey, do you want a divorce?
Yes.
Take it all. I don't give a shit.
Right.
I would like to
I'd
not
like my
die.
life. Yes, I'd like my life.
But even Yvonne was like, no, there's no way. This is not it.
Yeah, we've all trusted bad men. Yvonne.
Exactly.
Yeah, we've all seen Dateline.
But then a few weeks later, detectives get a phone call from a man that was awaiting deportation who claimed he saw Yvonne's picture on the news, and it just so happens he knows all about the plot to kill her.
Interesting.
And he's happy to talk about it if he gets to stay in the U.S.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He says his friend, Richard Gutierrez, approached him weeks ago about being a hitman. So police track Richard down, and he starts telling him about Michelle Geyser.
Why in these stories do people just go up to people and they're like, hey, are you interested in a new and exciting job opportunity?
Let me tell you,
every single person
every single person that tries to murder for hire, it's always they're talking to a cop or they're talking to somebody that's like, yeah, sure. Tells like 7 of their friends about it.
Like,
and
what? Why are criminals so stupid?
Honestly. The consequences of your actions. So, yeah, Richard starts telling the police about Michelle Geyser, this office manager for a law firm. She's been after him for months to kill Yvonne. She's offering $20,000 for a successful hit. Police are now on their way to go talk to her.
$20,000?
Yeah, $20,000.
That's not... I don't feel like that's worth it.
Well, though, I feel like my perception is very skewed from having done this podcast because people have agreed on this very show to like $5,000.
Yeah.
So I'm like, $20,000. I'm like, well.
But then you had those guys, what was it, a few weeks ago, Christina said, like he's like in debt by like a millions.
That was one of the wildest stories I've ever.
The Yeehaw Gang or whatever.
The Yeehaw Gang! Wasn't this in Texas too? Y'all.
Y'all.
Stop moving to Texas.
I mean, in fairness, Texas is a really big state. I feel like...
True. I feel like it was near Houston though too, so just
FYI.
Keep on the lookout.
Be careful.
Watch that Yeehaw Gang.
So police are on their way to go talk to her and they roll up on her office just in time for her to get out of a meeting.
Oh, perfect.
With Jeffrey Stern.
Sir.
Apparently.
Was it a no pants meeting?
Michelle met Jeffrey in the late 90s when he visited the law firm she worked at, and he started pursuing her aggressively, giving her little gifts and whatnot. But it wasn't until she broke up with a boyfriend in 2004 that she began to go out on dates with him, and it snowballed fast. She claims that they were soon having sex at hotels, at each other's offices, at his home when his family was out of town.
I also am not brave enough to have sex in the office at any time, even if I'm there by like
doors.
You
locked.
have your own office with a door and not a window interior.
I know, and like I could shut my blinds. I could shut my blinds, and then nobody's gonna come in there. But
why would you? The risk.
No.
Okay, you see the anxiety. I would be no fun.
So he's been taking her on these lavish trips. Michelle says he told her he's never been happier. When she would ask him about his wife, she says he would say she's nothing but a cheating whore and that he does his thing, she does her thing, and they only get around each other because of the kids.
She's a cheating whore. What are you?
Yeah, exactly.
What? Wait. She does her thing.
I believe
you do
that
your
you are
thing.
a cheating whore.
That feels like a deal you made. It sounds like you're contradicting yourself, my dude.
Right. Yeah. Michelle was also claimed that on late night phone calls, Jeffrey would ask her to fantasize about violently killing Yvonne if she caught them having sex.
What would you do?
If somebody told me to have violent fantasies?
Yeah.
Hang up.
Yeah, sir, I don't.
Wrong
number.
Like we're talking like this was not talking about like violently stabbing and killing her. And
wrong
stuff.
number.
Yeah. So detectives thought Michelle seemed to be strangely submissive, as if she's utterly under control by Jeffrey. She claimed that he would control where she was at, what she wore, how to do her hair. He preferred it straight.
From 9.5 weeks?
Paid all her bills, telling her she had to be obedient to him or else he'd find someone else. But then they also have her on tape at that point talking with Richard Gutierrez, who they had wired up to talk with her. She talked to him about having to kill his brother who knew about the scheme and was blackmailing her. And after that, they go after the bitch. Not once did she mention Jeffrey, and she was like a completely different personality on that tape. So police are like, okay, what's going on? So of course they're like, go to talk to Jeffrey. Yvonne's still in the hospital recovering from her gunshot, which was in her stomach. And she hears about this. She's like, how could you do this to our family? She jets off with the kids to Aspen. She's like,
goodbye. Yeah.
Go fuck yourself, right? So she's going to
1,000.
therapy in Aspen. And Jeffrey's like, I had an affair. I was not part of this. I don't know anything about this, whatever. And so Yvonne is talking to this therapist and trying to process this whole thing, and the therapist has her do a pro-con list or whatever. And so there were just way more
cons.
Pros
What?
Are you fucking serious? Listen, I swear to God,
back.
this is,
No.
She comes back.
Oh my God.
And she is adamant that she believes Jeffrey, that this was just an affair, and that the real mastermind behind this was his crazy woman.
Okay,
that,
I have thoughts.
Okay.
Because
I have a million thoughts.
Even if it was just an affair, and again,
thoughts.
not to say that like a couple can't recover or work through that stuff together, like it happens, okay? But even if it was just an affair, you know that somebody has tried to shoot your wife several times. Your child was present at least one of the times. And you have been straight up asked
if you're having an affair and you lied about it.
And you lied about it.
Thank you.
You did all this shit to keep her safe. You got a fucking German Shepherd.
Thank you.
And a Navy SEAL to keep your wife safe, but you wouldn't own up to the fact that you're having an affair.
Yep.
During
That's
the
exactly
investigation,
what I thought.
That's enough for me to
That's
be
enough.
like, I don't care how many pros are on the pro side. Like
You lied and you put, even if you're not involved, that lie still put my life and your children's life
because they
in
would have
danger.
found her before she shot me if you had told the truth.
Right.
I have a lot of questions about this therapy's methods.
Yeah.
This therapist's methods. I mean, like a pro cons list.
A pro
That
cons
can't
list is
be-
for little issues.
That's right. like things that you're like, oh, should I take this job opportunity? Should I move to another city? Like, yes.
Should I go back to my husband who
who's-
may have tried to kill me?
may have been
be
involved in a
involved.
murder plot with
Yeah.
his mistress.
Yeah. It's a lot.
No.
So rumors swirl around Houston. They're
I
like,
bet.
okay, it has to be because of a prenup or she's being brainwashed or whatever.
I want to know how many bless her hearts came out when talking about her coming back to her husband.
Absolutely. Well, Skip interviewed her. So there's quotes from her in the article. She's like, I'm not brainwashed. I would have gotten way more money if I had left him. Which
Then
I'm
good.
like,
Girl.
wait.
Good.
And she's like, no, I love him and I know he didn't have a part in this. And so and he talks about everybody in the restaurant. This was such big news in Houston. Everyone was giving her side eye. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Everybody had an opinion on this. This was huge. So she comes back. Everybody is supporting Jeffrey. Everyone is piling on Michelle like she is a liar. So Michelle, she's totally convinced that the whole scheme was thought up by Michelle. Jeffrey had nothing to do with it. His supporters point to all the lengths that he went to after the first couple shootings to protect her. The prosecution, though, points out police asked him several times if he was having an affair, and he
Yes.
lied about it. So they try all the different people involved in the scheme because, again, like the Yeehaw gang, you have Michelle, who's a mastermind. She might not be the only one, but you have Michelle, then you have Richard Gutierrez, and then he had several other people that he, you outsource that work. If
really-
you're
Sure.
busy, you got to delegate.
Yeah.
So
He's in a management position.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, exactly. So
no, I really, you gotta do Leon the professional kind of. You gotta keep it to yourself.
Keep it toy.
Yep.
Keep it tight.
Yeah.
You cannot be going around spilling your shit all over the place.
He's just telling his brother, he's telling other
Yeehaw
coworkers
gang.
stuff.
No.
So
What?
all of these people get
If I
tried.
came to either of you and I was like, listen, I have an opportunity for you.
I'd be like, I do not want to be in your MLM. I have told you multiple times. I don't care about lip sense.
No.
You'd be like 9-1 fucking 1. Like, I know
Seriously.
you're my friend, but get help. What are you doing?
Also, yeah, we definitely are intervening in that case. But yeah, so they all get guilty sentences. And then the prosecution works with Michelle, give her a plea deal, 25 years, you plead guilty and you're our star witness.
You gotta testify against
Jeffrey.
Old Jeffy.
She's like, of course I will. So prosecutors have evidence of Jeffrey giving her large sums of money and phone records showing them in contact around the times of the shootings. But his defense says that doesn't prove murder. That just proves affair.
I gotta be honest, I'm with his defense
Yeah.
on this one.
Yeah.
You can't,
The defense compares her to Glenn Close in Fatal Attraction.
Okay.
Wow.
Saying she's just a crazy obsessed woman.
Oh my God.
And Jeffrey was just using her for sex. And Yvonne is just like, yep, he told me there were no feelings. He was just using her for sex. And so.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
And my therapist said it was on my pro and con list. So
Yep. The DA was ready to go to trial until Michelle was working from jail to try to have Jeffrey killed.
Come on.
Listen, lady.
Wow.
Look.
So since she was the star witness in his trial, the DA dropped all charges for Jeffrey.
Wow.
And his family rejoiced that their nightmare was over. So they're still together.
I was
the
like,
latest,
and then
the charges were all dropped. This was back in like
Wow.
2012. All the charges against him were dropped. But in 2019, the DA brings charges against Jeffrey and several of the attorneys in his law firm for being ambulance chasers. And this time they've denied bail. And so he's been sitting in jail because he's up for so many different charges, witness tampering, fraud, the whole 9 yards. So he is now in jail, not for attempted murder. But my main thing for bringing this story is how can you be sure 100% that he wasn't? How do you not sleep with one eye fucking open if you're Yvonne? You know what I mean?
It begs the question, why are we so afraid of being alone?
Honestly.
Like I don't understand.
I don't think it's just alone. I think it's being with that person, because like I always said, I'm like, if anything ever happened to Chris, I'd be fine being alone. But it would be really hard for me to believe that Chris could do something like that.
Right.
I'll be honest.
It would be hard for me too. However,
because Anthony
been
wouldn't.
Shot.
There's no way.
Neither would Chris. I mean, but it's like you've been shot. And I really do feel like so much of this, like that pros and cons list, so much of it, I mean, I understand it's like you built a life together, you have kids together, you have a house together, like all of those things. But people have restarted their lives.
Yeah.
And I feel like so much of it.
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. If anything ever happened, like something came out, Chris did something, I would need you guys to pull me out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to see reason because I am absolutely in love and trust this person with my whole heart.
Yeah.
Like I will be honest. I just don't have the capabilities to on my own extricate.
Look at the evidence.
I couldn't
and see it.
I couldn't.
You need a therapist who's going to do more than make you write a pros and cons list.
I couldn't trust the therapist, and I can only trust my friends.
Mm-hmm.
I am somebody who doesn't trust people on the outside at all, especially when it comes to very important things. And what I need is my close friends to come to me and be like, you have to look at the facts here, ma'am.
Yeah.
I would. I just,
it's a very honest perspective on that.
I know me.
Yeah. That I sympathize with that. And I understand that. I do feel like though, a lot of the tainted loves that we tell on this show stem from, and maybe it is less fear of being alone and more fear of losing that specific person. But I do think that we have a culture that is very obsessed and it has been like ingrained in us to fear being alone. We are supposed to be afraid of like growing old alone. And it's why we're pressured not only to be in partnerships, but also to have children. Like we're pressured to do all these things because like, you don't want to be alone. Well, you don't want to be alone. And it's just like, but it really
seeing my dad and what he went through, at the end of the day, even when you're surrounded by people, you're alone anyways.
Yeah.
So
wow, that's dark.
Yeah.
Well, I think that I actually have a very different opinion of that. Like I kind of feel like you're never alone. Like I feel like yes, you live and die alone. Like right, you are your own human being person. But like I see my mom, and like my dad can't really travel as much anymore, but she still does travel. She travels with her best friend from fucking high school that she's still
adorable.
Friends with, lives in Florida. She's got she's built a community for herself. And I think so I'm not afraid of being alone. I think I got a really good example of like, my mom will be fine. If anything ever happens to my dad, my mom's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
I think,
And you're very capable.
Yeah.
Of
And
being
my dad's also the kind of person who's like, if my mom's out of town, he can take care of himself. He's very capable as well. They're both very capable alone people. And they actually suck together, but
this is what's terrifying for me is like that whole idea of like you she can't know 100% that he wasn't. And how do you feel safe? How do you trust? Like your trust is already broken from the affair. So that's hard enough to get over when there's been cheating involved, but a fucking murder plot?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and for me, it would be, I think I would feel very differently if the police had asked him and he said, yeah, actually, anything to keep my family safe.
That's
right.
That's what got it for me too.
Right. Because to me, if he had come out and said that, I would have been like, okay, this was an awful, obviously this is a violation of my trust. It's put us in a really shitty situation as a family, but I can tell that you care about me enough and you respect me enough, at least, to have put this thing out there that you knew could damage us.
That would have gone on my pros list as opposed to my cons list.
Yeah, because you cared enough to keep me and your children safe, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and that to me, that was the evidence. I was like, it's a he said, she said, because they don't have like physical proof. But that for me, the fact that she and his kid had been shot at,
right?
And he still was lying about the affair.
If you weren't involved in the plot, maybe he wasn't, right? Like let's look at it from that. Like maybe you weren't involved in the plot. You cared more about your own reputation and like your fear of what was going to happen to you in your marriage than to make sure that to do everything possible with all this fancy gadgetry and all this stuff that you didn't actually do everything possible to make sure that your family was safe.
No. Well, and what he was finally arrested for, I feel like speaks to his character. The lengths he was going to and cheating and stuff at his law practice and everything speaks to his character.
Yeah.
It
says plenty.
Yep. So
wow.
There you go.
Well, it's a lot.
Well, what are you guys watching? Palate cleanser.
Yeah, I'm not really watching anything new at the moment. I started the first episode of The Watcher. I think I'm gonna like it.
Oh, I'm excited. I want to watch it too.
Yeah, I mean, great cast. Like, first of all, I haven't seen Naomi Watts in anything in a minute, and I love her.
Bobby Cannavale is in it too, and fucking Jennifer Coolidge.
And Jennifer Coolidge,
I love her.
Her in like, so I only watched about the first half of the first episode because it was getting late and I wanted to go read. But Jennifer Coolidge is playing a less caricature-y character. Which I love. I actually, because she is so versatile and is so good at that one thing that she does, that very like over the top comedy that she does. She's so good at that, and I love to see her in that role. But
did you watch White Lotus?
I haven't yet.
Oh my god, she's amazing in it.
I just love her. I just think that she's incredible. But all of the ensemble cast that I've seen so far, I'm digging.
I'm interested. I'm interested to see that.
That
for
story
sure.
is
wild.
Oof. Yeah.
Is it true?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, based on a true story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently watching The Mole. I don't know if you guys remember, there was a show.
Oh my gosh, the reality show The Mole.
Stop.
They brought it back out.
Stop it. These are new episodes. You're not rewatching old ones.
New episodes.
Oh my god.
New season. It's on Netflix. And I was like, it kind of started out as like one of those like, just something in the background. And then now here I am like fucking
fully
eyes glued.
invested.
And they're not dropping them like it's not the full season out, right? So I'm in here like, I think it's this person. I'm pretty sure it's this person.
God, the revival of classic reality TV.
It's
love it.
And it's just as good because it's an easy premise to reboot.
Yeah.
It's such an easy premise to reboot because it's not... It's, you're just putting people into situations. And the thing of it is that, like, honestly, the Mole doesn't really have to do anything. You got people who are just stumbling around like a bunch of dum-dums, just fucking basically sabotaging themselves. I mean, the Mole has like the easiest job on the planet.
Yeah.
Nice. I
love it.
So yeah, is there a part of me that's like, would I love to be on this show? Yes.
Oh my God. Talk to
it.
our friends.
I know.
He probably will be at some point.
He's done like 18 game shows by now.
I actually just finished a very short documentary called I Love You Now Die. Or no, I'm sorry. What is it called? I get it confused with that one.
Yeah.
It's the one about Barney.
Oh no! I
love
don't
you
wanna
and
watch
hate you.
It's
that.
I love you, you hate me.
You hate me. That's
I-
right.
That is gonna bum me the fuck out.
Can't watch that.
There's a true crime element
Stop
to it.
it.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
What's
I
it
didn't
on?
either, but I saw the trailer and I was like, I don't think I can.
No, it's on Peacock.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Look, and I know that there was a lot of Barney backlash even when Barney was huge. Like
Yeah.
I remember
And they
in elementary
talk about it.
school.
Yeah.
It's so
In
weird.
elementary school, it was one of those things that was just like, are you watching Barney? Barney's for babies. Like there was like
Yeah.
so much of that, like a lot of Barney shaming happening, even at the height of Barney. But I don't want. It's like Mr. Rogers. I'm like, I don't want anything that
Don't
is
take
gonna.
this.
Don't take this away from me, please. Life is
No,
hard.
it actually kind of made me feel bad. I was too old when Barney came
Same.
out, but when they were talking about the backlash towards like or the cynicism that we have, and Steve from Blue's Clues is interviewed on there too. I'm like, he is looking
hot.
He's bald now,
Oh my
isn't he?
god!
He looks
Wait,
good.
We have never talked about this, but it got sent to us months and months and months ago. A woman on TikTok fucked Steve
I'm sorry. What?
and talked about it.
I'm sorry. What? Oh, I'm sorry. Wait,
Yes,
what?
and he has like the chair.
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, I was like, did they fuck on the chair?
Fuck on the- you
Apparently
fucked
no.
on the chair.
Apparently no. But
What
I
are
was
the
like,
reviews?
I would have. I think it was good. I think it was good.
Yeah, no,
think
I
he was
looked
very
at him
nice.
in the documentary. I was
Yeah.
like, first of all, he's
You fucked good.
He's articulate.
Yeah.
He's sexy.
Sexy and like emotionally open, and he was being
Ooh.
vulnerable. I was like,
Well, we know that video in the middle of the pandemic that almost ruined
Oh.
all of our lives, where Steve was like, "I'm proud of you. Look at you." And we're like,
I didn't know I needed that. But it really made me think, because it's the same backlash that Mr. Rogers got, where he was just like
too wholesome.
Where people are like, well, he must be like a fucking creep or whatever, because people just like
They
this
can't.
cynicism that we get when we're older, when we look at something that's pure and we're like, no.
Right.
Like,
Well, you know, we
can't
have
be
that
true.
because speaking of, and I don't think I mentioned it on the podcast, but this was probably last month sometime. I watched the Jimmy Savile documentary.
Oh.
And it's like, oh yeah.
I did not,
we're
and I cannot, I don't
cynical because
Because
you
that.
have these people who you're like, oh, they're supposed to be like good, wholesome, kind, philanthropic people who are monsters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actual monsters.
And I get why we've done that. We've done that to
Protect ourselves.
ourselves and to protect our children and stuff. But yeah, it's just.
Cheers, bitches.
Yeah.
Me too, huh?
Yeah.
But it's, it's just sad that has made us, not able to see, when real goodness is there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I love you, Barney.
Guard your heart.
You
guard
love
your
me.
heart. Yeah. But it is a tragic story, the creator of it and her own family. So yeah.
Yeah. See, I don't think I can watch that.
Yeah, no, it was actually, like I said, it was a good one. I've never heard of this story before, and I was very entertained. So,
wow.
There you go. Well, if you have something that we should watch, if you want to give us our bad date stories, if
Leave
you
us a review, please.
Yeah,
That'd
if
be
you wanna
amazing.
Leave a review. Go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstdatepodcast.com, and we love you so much. Cheers.
Are you fascinated by unexplainable crimes, conspiracies, and fringe culture? Well, step into the crawl space. From tales of survival and deepfakes to synchronicities and cryptozoology, Crawl Space is a podcast that brings you weekly stories of the mysterious, harrowing, and bizarre. Search Crawl Space wherever you listen to podcasts. Crawl Space, where crime meets culture.
I'm Morgan Rector, host of the Human Monsters True Crime Podcast. Do you find life boring within the comfort zone? This is the right show for you. It will test your endurance. The offenders profiled are among the most inhumane. These people specialize in the unthinkable. Human Monsters, available wherever you get your podcasts.